Good evening to you. Welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines. A loss of vital knowledge. The complaint from critics as Coast Guard stations in the south are merged.
Out of control, the lorries ignoring the warning signs and putting road workers' lives at risk.
Caring for the tiniest of patients. The nurse with a big heart who is transforming the lives of critically ill children.
And the greatest sporting prize Britain has never won. Can Ben Ainsley bring home the America's Cup? Good evening to you. The merger of the South Coast Guard services will mean a loss of vital local knowledge about our coastline. That's the fear from critics tonight after the opening of the new National Maritime Operations Centre in Hampshire this week.
A number of Coast Guard stations nationwide are to close at locations including Portland in Dorset and Lee on the Solent. Some staff will be relocated to the new inland base in Fareham, which is due to be fully operational by the end of next year.
Well, our reporter Richard Jones has been following this story closely. Here's his report.
It's Coast Guards who organise the response to emergencies at sea and coordinate the work of lifeboats, helicopters and rescue teams. Managers say the closure of stations and the move of staff to a new centre will not affect frontline search and rescue operations. But across the country, a third of Coast Guards have decided to leave the service, leading critics to suggest vital expertise is being lost.
In the last few years, we've had 3 or 4 fatalities here, and by moving everything away and then taking the helicopter away later on, we feel that it's going to increase the risks even further.
With such a large number of people wanting to leave the agency, we're concerned that there will be a loss of local knowledge and experience which will take many years to get back.
But the agency says there will be more people on duty at the new centre, and they'll be able to access a database of local expertise, which Coast Guards themselves have helped to create.
We've also spread our knowledge, skills and experience from both of the stations that's closing throughout the teams that will be operating here, and we've got access to a much enhanced coastal organisation with volunteer colleagues and RNLI colleagues as well. So taken as a suite of measures for local intelligence, we're actually in a better place today than we were yesterday.
The organisation, which represents many mariners, says other mergers have taken place and they've been a success.
To the extent to which there is local knowledge within the operations centre, yes, we are concerned to make sure that that's retained. Fundamentally, we want to know that the right assets are sent to the right place as quickly as possible.
Romantics will also mourn the move of Coast Guard stations away from the coast to a centre inland. But in the 21st century, it's computers, not binoculars, that are the most important tools used by the men and women who look after those in peril on the sea. Richard Jones, ITV News.
Well, there's more on the reaction to the new Maritime Operations Centre on our website. On your smartphone or device, scan this code to be taken straight there, or search for ITV News Meridian on your computer.
In other news, a reward of £5,000 is being offered for information leading to the conviction of the killer of a mother of 5 found stabbed to death in the New Forest. Penny Davis was found in a field in Bewley last week. Hampshire police have been carrying out roadside and house-to-house inquiries this afternoon, exactly a week after the crime. A 22-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder has been released on bail.
A woman from Dorset has been disqualified from keeping animals for 5 years after she was caught on CCTV kicking her dog. And just to warn you, some of you may find this footage upsetting. Hannah Bennett, who's 35 and from Bovington, can be seen kicking her Staffordshire Bull Terrier, Mace, on Wool High Street. Mace has made a full recovery and is now being cared for by the RSPCA.
A new report from the health watchdog, the Care Quality Commission, says that the Isle of Wight NHS Trust needs improvement.
The findings follow an inspection of the trust by a team of almost 80 medical professionals in June. The organisation runs St Mary's Hospital in Newport.
The trust's acute services and community health services were rated as requires improvement. Mental health services were rated good.
There were criticisms. Some areas had low staffing levels and there were not enough nurses for some departments because of recruitment problems.
Well, this is what the Isle of Wight Trust told us when we asked them for their response to the report.
We agree that this is an overall a fair assessment. It's not a surprise to us. The areas that CQC highlighted were ones that were absolutely on our radar. Nonetheless, personally, I'm disappointed because I think it hides the fact that 70% of our services have been rated good by CQC and the rest do require some effort, but it's not the same as inadequate. And I suppose the message I would really want to give out to people, and particularly our patients and island residents, is that our services are safe and are worth their support.
Now, it's the first full week back at school for many children across our region. And this year there's been huge pressure on places, especially at primary schools.
Yes, that's meant creating new classes and in some cases even more radical solutions. At Hove in Sussex, a disused police station has been converted into a school at a cost of more than £2 million. Malcolm Shaw has our report.
Break time at Hove Junior and the children are busy exploring the playground of their brand new school. For the last 50 years, the building in Holland Road was actually a police station until the force reorganised its offices and sold off the property. Converting it has cost £2.6 million.
I think it's absolutely fantastic, I really do. We did actually talk about keeping a cell, but that wasn't possible, and I wish we could have done, but we have got a cell door and we have got the locks, because obviously, in addition to being a school now, it is also an historic building.
The school is a satellite of another close by. So far it only has 80 children, all in Year 3, but will gradually fill up. Within 4 years, the school will be home to nearly 500 children and 40 members of staff. Like many towns and cities in our region, Brighton and Hove has experienced enormous pressure on primary school places this year, mostly the result of a baby boom. Providing extra capacity within budget has been a challenge.
We don't want to see schools struggling for numbers, but on the other hand, we want people to be able to go to a school locally. It's a very difficult juggling act, and I think, you know, sometimes parents don't want to see schools expanded. But actually, if you don't expand a school, you end up with children travelling a long way, and they don't want that either.
The building work took around a year to complete and included the construction of a brand new school hall. The children now settling in happily.
I think it's really amazing to turn a police station into a school. It's brilliant, I like it. There's quite a lot of stuff to discover and that. I should give them a 2 thumbs up because they've worked so hard to make the school the best school.
This year saw a rise in the number of children here failing to gain a place at their preferred school, but it's hoped projects like this will ease the pressure in future. Malcolm Shaw, ITV News, Hove.
Asher King could start specialist cancer treatment as early as Monday, according to the Proton Therapy Centre in Prague. The 5-year-old has had a series of tests there today. Brett and Agima King removed Asher from Southampton General Hospital last month against doctors' advice after a disagreement over his treatment.
In Spain, they have a policy, you're not allowed to bring young children into the hospital. So he's never seen his younger sister or his brothers who are under the age of 16. The treatment will last for 6 weeks. It's a long time to be without his family. So we've got to try and arrange something. I don't want to get into any more trouble that my children aren't in school.
Councillors on the Isle of Wight are discussing whether to allocate up to £500,000 for repairs to a road affected by a major landslide. Part of Undercliff Drive in St Lawrence collapsed in the winter storms, with some residents having to leave their homes. The road had to be closed, causing months of disruption.
Well, you are watching ITV News in the Meridian region. Thanks as ever for joining us this evening. Coming up, under wraps, the multi-million-pound yacht's ready for the water at the Southampton Boat Show. We go behind the scenes.
For more on all of our stories, head to itv.com/news/Meridian. Any views or news, please call us. 0808 10 10 095 is the number. Or get in touch via Facebook, or why not send us a tweet at ITV Meridian.
Now, 6 skippers who will lead teams into the next America's Cup have been together in London today to confirm their intention to compete for one of sailing's most coveted titles.
Yes, among them, of course, Sir Ben Ainslie, who is aiming to take the trophy from the Americans and bring it home for the first time in the competition's history.
His team will be based in Portsmouth, and at today's launch, he told Sarah Gom he hopes to rewrite the history books.
The greatest sporting prize never won by Great Britain. The 163-year-old trophy Sir Ben Ainslie is determined to get his hands on as part of an all-British team.
To have the 6 key opposition skippers, teams here in attendance, it's great. And there is a bit of rivalry there, and I think that's great. That's what all sport needs. And we're all really excited about moving forwards with this next America's Cup.
Last year, Sir Ben became the first Briton to be part of a winning America's Cup team in 110 years with Oracle Team USA. His role vital in overturning an 8-1 deficit to Team New Zealand. And it's that experience which now leads Sir Ben Ainslie to believe he does have the knowledge to mount a successful challenge for this fantastic trophy and bring it home for the first time since 1851.
Well, it's been an ambition to win the America's Cup. As you said, I was fortunate to be involved with the Oracle team last year with that amazing comeback, but absolutely to do it with a British team, it's been an ambition since childhood, really, and it's the only major trophy in international sport that we've never won in Britain, so it's absolutely imperative that we right that wrong.
And his team will be based here at Camber Dock in Portsmouth, costing around £12 million and initially expected to employ 90 people.
It's taken a lot of hard work and effort to get us to this point. We have some great backers, designers, sailors, and really bringing all that together now, and the hard work has been going for a while. And certainly as to have a British team involved in the America's Cup, like I said, with the history of the event, the fact that it started here, we've never won it, to be a part of that's very special.
The competition's qualifying rounds are due to start in 2015, with the finals likely to take place in June 2017. And if Sir Ben is victorious, he's pledged to bring the competition back to British waters. Sarah Gom, ITV News, London.
Knowing him, I suspect he probably will be victorious.
I think he will
He's
be
a bit
as
of
well.
a winner, is that young man?
Definitely.
Now, frightening footage of lorries ignoring warning signs and crashing through motorway barriers has been released by the Highways Agency in a bid to show the dangers faced by road workers every day.
And it's a danger Gordon Davis knows only too well. He suffered life-changing injuries when a van drove into roadworks and straight into him. Victoria Davis has his story.
Watch this lorry on the right-hand side of the screen. The driver hasn't noticed that a motorway lane has been cordoned off and ploughs through the cones, narrowly missing this traffic officer. This lorry is also having trouble reading the signs as he continues through the lane which has been closed off using a red X to warn drivers. It is another near miss and no one was hurt, but this former road maintenance worker nearly lost his life when a van driver overshot a bend, hitting 2 stationary cars, which then crushed him.
A fractured skull, bleed on the brain, damaged the optic nerve, heart and lungs crushed, collarbone, shoulder blade broken, and 7 ribs broken and displaced. Apparently I died 3 times. My family were told that to expect the worst.
He is getting better, and the man I married is coming back. But I will never have that man back again.
There are numerous examples of crashes in roadworks. Last year saw 10 road workers suffering major injuries, the highest number in 7 years. Something the Highways Agency is trying to change.
What we're trying to do here is to make sure that the travelling public understand that roadworks are there for a purpose and that they slow down and take care through the roadworks. There are smoothing measures that are put in place to protect the people that work there. And a lot of incidents occur from simple vehicle weaving, clipping cones, to much more serious incidents.
The driver of the van who caused Gordon's injuries was banned from driving for 6 months and fined £200. But for Gordon and his family, it's been life-changing. Gordon will never work again and needs constant care.
I wouldn't like to think anyone else or another family is going through what we've been through. still hurt, as you could see.
Gordon and his family say they want drivers to slow down and be more aware, so others don't have to suffer the way they have. Victoria Davis, ITV News.
Yes, a warning there for us all, methinks. Now it is just gone 16 minutes past 6 o'clock. The ITV News continues with the national and international news at 6:30. Let's now get a quick preview to London and Mary Nightingale.
Cameron, Clegg and Miliband clear their diaries to head to Scotland. As the referendum enters its frantic final stage, the leaders are abandoning tomorrow's Prime Minister's questions to join the push against independence. But with the polls neck and neck, Scotland's First Minister Alex Salmond says it's a sign the No campaign has fallen apart. The night patrols are back as a second year of badger culling gets underway in southwest England. And Harry's message to the war-wounded as they prepare to compete in his Invictus Games. We'll do John Mark Austin and me for that and more at 6:30.
We will be watching. Now this week we're highlighting the work of some of the region's unsung heroes as part of ITV's Pride of Britain Awards.
Yes, tonight we're going to hear about Rosie Mitchell, a quite extraordinary nurse on the Paediatric Intensive Care Unit at Southampton General Hospital.
Yes, she's been nominated by an incredible 6 people for the Fundraiser of the Year award, but not for the nursing work she does on the ward.
No, aside from caring for critically ill children full-time, she's raised a staggering £1.2 million to help make the ward the second best of its kind in the country. Elisa Belverstone explains how she's made a real difference.
She is the beating heart of the charity. I can turn to Rosie and say, please help us out, and she always does.
I just like helping people, and I like looking after the children and providing the best possible care we can for the children.
For Rosie Mitchell, looking after critically ill children is far more than just a day job. In just 8 years, she's raised an incredible £1.2 million to give youngsters with life-threatening illnesses the best chance of survival.
We felt that there was a need for specialist equipment to be brought for the unit that the NHS couldn't provide. And also we wanted to do things for the parents to make their lives a little bit easier whilst they're here on the unit.
Rosie dedicates almost all of her spare time to the charity so that she can help to buy extra life-saving equipment like this device.
You just don't realise how much equipment and that is needed until you're in that situation, and you just realise then just how important all of that is, and people like Rosie are.
Rosie's charity also paid for this special bed for the ward's smaller patients, but crucially, she's also created accommodation for their parents.
Just knowing that you're only across the way from him, if you like, so if he starts crying, you know, the nurses can come and get you and you can still be that parent that you want to be. So what they'll do without her, I really don't know.
Rosie's even responsible for transporting the children here, funding special ambulances that pick up patients from as far as Devon and Oxfordshire.
This is our 3rd specialist ambulance, and we can put in specialist equipment for the very, very sickest of children and pick up the children within the golden hour.
I just don't think there are many people like Rosie, and sometimes one comes across very special people, and she's one of them because of her astonishing energy and desire to keep this thing going.
Rosie's enthusiasm is so infectious that many parents who've experienced the charity are keen to come on board. This weekend, actress Sarah Parish organised a sponsored walk to raise money for the PICU, which cared for her own little girl.
Rosie's an incredible woman. I've never met anyone with such a huge, generous, selfless spirit, really. To us, she was like an angel. She just made everything that was a nightmare better. And I think people like that are very few and far between. She's 1 in a million, really, Rosie.
Yes, Elisa Belverstone there with that report. We shall hear from another very worthy nominee tomorrow night and again on Thursday, with the winner announced on Friday.
Now, you'd think being given the thumbs down by the Dragons from TV's Dragon's Den would put you off any business idea, but one company is facing a very bright future.
Yes, looking like your favourite celebrity or musician is big business, it seems, and the company, which started in its founder's bedroom, now turns over more than £2 million a year. Andy Bevan can tell us a bit more.
Fake footballers, pretend politicians, even cut-out compares. These cardboard faces have all come from the minds of a trio who dubbed themselves the Three Musketeers. Chris O'Neill dreamed up the idea after cutting out the face of actor Peter Bowles from a Sunday magazine. He started making more celebrity masks in his spare bedroom. And then in 2009, he and partners Ray Duffy and Deel Walton tried their luck in the Dragon's Den. They failed, but in 2014, what is now Masquerade is so successful, it's just won the Homegrown Business of the Year prize at the Nectar Small Business Awards. Now, like all journalists, I'm a bit of a nosy Parker, so let's get the lowdown on this success story from the brains behind the operation.
So how do you go from working in your back bedroom to a £2.2 million a year turnover business in, what, 5 years?
Well, it was an awful lot of hard work, and we knew we had a product that the public would like. We'd done a number of small trade fairs, and the response to our product was phenomenal.
We're chatting by the company's Wall of Fame. These aren't for sale, but each one was sent to its real-life counterpart, who duly signed it and sent it back. The faces include soap superstars, music legends, even world leaders. Mind you, you don't have to have a famous face or own the company to become a mask. Many a stag night, hen do or birthday party is now filled with guests mimicking their host.
But if the face of your idol just isn't enough, then you might want to try something a bit bigger. And you can't get much bigger than these guys.
Let's go crazy, crazy, crazy till we see the sun.
The lads from 1D are still best sellers, although hot on their heels are the boys from the US TV hit Breaking Bad. Masquerade were presented with their award by Karen Brady, who will also offer the company business mentoring advice.
It's just fantastic recognition from all the hard work that we've put in over the last 5 years. We have a great team assembled down here. We all enjoy our work tremendously. It's a serious business, but we have an awful lot of fun.
Wonderful. Do you think there's one of you?
I shouldn't think so. Couldn't sell very many, that's for sure.
I bet you would. Now, it's one of the world's largest boat shows and brings in more than £15 million to the South's economy.
Yeah, starting on Friday, the Southampton Boat Show aims to get people of all ages out on the water. Andrew Pate's been along to bring us this sneak preview.
Transforming Southampton's waterfront. Over the past 4 weeks, through rain and shine, Mayflower Park has turned itself into a mecca for boat lovers.
It's an amazing location, right in the city centre, with a purpose-built marina, the largest purpose-built marina of any show in the world. It's 2 kilometres worth of pontooning, and we use this asset to get as many people out there and enjoying boating as we possibly can.
Under wraps, but edging closer by the hour. This is a massive event for the city. Southampton's population is around 240,000. Organisers expect almost 120,000 to attend this year's show. And everyone here will be able to get an extra special view of exactly where they are. Standing at over 100 feet tall, the Boat Show Eye takes you on a 30-minute journey overlooking Southampton's water and its nightlife. This year, 78 boats will be making their UK debut at the show, while there's more opportunities than ever to get out on the water. And of course, there's always the chance to splash the cash, whatever your budget.
There's everything from a stand-up paddleboard to a super yacht at the show, and everything in between. You know, there's over 600 boats at the show of all shapes and sizes. Probably the cheapest boat at the show is in the region of £200, all weapons to multi-million pounds worth.
With the show starting on Friday, there's still plenty to do. But no doubt, by then, everything will look shipshape. Andrew Pate, ITV News, Southampton.
It looks quite spectacular, doesn't it? Well, from the water to the sky now, and particularly the night sky with our own Sir Patrick Moore. Simon's here now.
If only I was as talented as he was. But I do know a little thing or two about the moon last night. Did you spot it?
Oh, it was
when you finished the
absolutely.
late
When
show?
I finished my late news and drove home, it was magnificent. I thought I'd just get in the fact I was working late.
Suddenly slipped in. Well done. It was big and it was super. We are allowed to call it a super moon because it was. Yeah, you should. I could have been using it just now, but you didn't. Tonight. Useless. But anyway, supermoon, because it was we've had 3 this year where the moon is as close as it ever is to the Earth, and so it looks bigger and brighter. Plus, it's a harvest moon because back in the days before they had batteries, they would be using the last full moon of the start of autumn rather. I know what I'm trying to say. To help get all the crops in. Anyway, just have a look at the pictures. Have a look at the pictures. Here we go. Here's the first one of the harvest moon from Nicky Vines. Didn't that look like something out of Star Trek or something? Here's a rather moody view from Upper Weald in Hampshire, with an added chimney from Rihanna Stone, who says, rather worryingly in her email, "Dear Sir or Madam." This is great. Maybe. Chris Wiseman, a photo of. The photo being taken of the moon, and there's your actual moon at the top there. Meanwhile, Gordon Butchers in Sussex was the busiest. He got various shots of the sunset and then hung around for the lovely moonrise as well. Beautiful orange moon glow there. But have a look at this quick one from the Sun here. Brian Gilbert in Freshwater took this picture. The black dots, that's a bird, but down there, do you know what they are? No. They are caused by intense magnetic activity, dark spots.
You got it out in the end. Well done. Here's the forecast. Let's see if it'll all come out. Simon Parkin.
That's us driving on, us driving off in France, and us on the bridge.
Driving to Europe. Eurotunnel Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Well, now, you've probably noticed that this last few days, apart from a bit of early morning mist, there's been nothing to worry about weather-wise, and it's the same story for the next few days, and it's all to do with this, the location of our old friend, the jet stream, which is very conveniently way to the north of us, and that means we've got high pressure sitting on top of us, and that means nothing bad is going to happen. So tonight, we will again see a lot of the cloud disappear, and underneath the clear skies, it's going to get fairly chilly. Temperatures last night got down to around 7 degrees in Farnborough. It'll be the same sort of thing in the rural spots again tonight, although in the bigger towns we'll see temperatures staying up into double figures. And yes, there might be a little tiny bit of mist around first thing tomorrow morning, but it'll soon clear. And again, we're looking at a decent day. There will be bits and bobs of fair weather cloud bubbling up as the day goes on, but it's going to stay dry and warm in that sunshine too. Highs of around 19-20 degrees, though a noticeable breeze developing along the coast and around the Isle of Wight. High tide times tomorrow, you can see on the Isle of Wight, just the one around 12:30. And then Thursday is looking like a cloudier day, brighter for Friday.
Eurotunnel Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Well, stay tuned for Mark Austin and Mary Nightingale.
Join me if you can for our late news again. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.